What if I told you there's one habit, just one, that might be silently draining your energy, slowly killing your confidence, and keeping you stuck right where you are in life? You feel exhausted, don't you? Unmotivated, like you're just spinning your wheels, caught in this endless loop that you can't seem to break out of. But what if the real key to unshakable self-control, to true masculinity, has been right in front of you the whole time, hiding in plain sight? Stick with me, because once you see this for what it really is, you'll never look at it the same again. Let's talk about something real. Something no one really wants to bring up. A habit that's treated like it's normal, like it's harmless. Some people even go as far as to say it's healthy. But have you ever actually stopped to question that? Because I'm going to be straight with you. This so-called harmless habit could be doing way more damage than you think. Now listen, I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. The ancient Stoics, some of the sharpest minds to ever walk this earth, understood something we've all but forgotten today. They got the importance of discipline. They saw how destructive it could be to constantly chase pleasure. And they uncovered the secret to real, lasting self-mastery. And in this video, I'm breaking it all down, so you can finally break free, reclaim your strength, and take back the life you're meant to live. Let's get into the core of this. Why is this habit so damaging? You already know the feeling. That slump, after you've indulged. The guilt that creeps in. That low motivation that lingers. It's like something inside of you is slowly slipping away. And no matter how much you try to ignore it, it keeps happening. But why? Why does something that feels so harmless in the moment end up leaving you so drained? Well, science actually gives us the answer. Every single time you engage in this habit, your brain releases a massive spike of dopamine. That's the brain's pleasure chemical. Sounds great, right? Except, not really. Because the more you engage in this, the more your brain starts to crave that quick and easy hit of pleasure. And just like any addiction, the more you feed it, the more damage it does. You start to feel tired, sluggish, weaker than usual. And worst of all, your motivation to chase real goals starts to vanish. Why? Because your brain already got the reward, without actually achieving anything meaningful. Now here's the wild part. The Stoics knew this long before the neuroscientists figured it out. They warned us, overindulgence leads to weakness. And when you're driven by base desires, you're not in control anymore. You're being controlled. Let's zoom in on what the Stoics actually said. Because their words, they still hit hard today. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "No man is free who is a slave to his body." Think about that. Every time you give in to this habit, you're reinforcing a mindset of weakness. You're telling yourself, I need this. But the truth is, it's not a need. It's a chain. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome and a lifelong student of Stoicism, believed deeply in one thing. Master your desires. Don't let them master you. Because the moment you lose control over yourself, you lose your freedom. And here's where it gets real. The more you seek pleasure, the more you become addicted to it. And the more addicted you are, the further away you drift from anything real. From fulfillment, from focus, from freedom. And if you study history, you'll notice something interesting. Every great man, from warriors, to emperors, to inventors, to modern-day visionaries, they all had one trait in common. They didn't let urges dictate their lives. They knew how to rule themselves. While the masses were out chasing short-term highs, these men were chasing purpose. And that's exactly what separated them from the crowd. That's what elevated them. That's what made them unstoppable. So the question now is, how do you break free? How do you actually pull yourself out of this pattern that's been silently holding you back? The answer? It comes down to 3 timeless Stoic principles: self-discipline, purpose, transmutation. Let's break each of them down. Number 1. Self-discipline. This is the foundation of everything. Epictetus said, "No man is truly free who is not master of himself." And that's where your transformation begins. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you won't be a slave to your desires anymore. That's the moment you begin to reclaim your power. Now don't get it twisted. Self-discipline isn't about depriving yourself. It's not about punishment. It's about learning to choose what's meaningful over what's easy. Every time you resist the urge to indulge in this habit, you're not just saying no. You're training your mind. You're toughening your spirit. And the more you do it, the more you weaken that habit's grip on you. Number 2. purpose, you've got to replace the habit with something greater. See, the Stoics believed that a life without purpose was a wasted life. And honestly, they were right. A big reason why so many men fall into this habit is because they don't have anything bigger pulling them forward. There's no mission, no niche, no passion. But think about it, if your mind and your time were consumed with building a business, learning a powerful skill, or mastering something meaningful, would you really have time for empty indulgence? The truth is, you've got to put that energy somewhere. And the key is to channel it into something that brings real satisfaction. Not a momentary high, but something that fulfills your soul. Number 3. Transmutation. This one right here, it's the hidden superpower most men never tap into. Transmutation means taking one kind of energy and redirecting it into something greater. And when we're talking about this particular habit, we're talking about the most powerful energy in a man's body, sexual energy. Now, hang with me for a second, because this isn't just spiritual fluff or some new age trend. This is ancient wisdom, and it's backed by some of the sharpest minds to ever live. You see, the ancient warriors, the artists, the philosophers, they all understood something we've forgotten today. They knew that when a man wastes his energy chasing pleasure, he also wastes his potential. But, when that same energy is redirected, when it's channeled into something meaningful, it becomes fuel, not just for productivity, but for passion, for ambition, for power. Think about it like this. Your body is designed to create life. That energy is primal. It's raw. It's creative. So what happens when you stop wasting it and start using it to create your own life instead? That's when things shift. Take Nikola Tesla for example. One of the most brilliant inventors in human history. He remained celibate his entire life, not because he was shy or scared, but because he understood this principle. He said no to momentary pleasure, so he could say yes to vision, invention, and greatness. Now, I'm not saying you have to go full monk mode, but I am saying, if you're constantly draining your energy for a few seconds of dopamine, you're robbing yourself of the fuel you need to build something meaningful. What could you create with all that energy? What goals could you crush? What kind of man could you become? That's the power of transmutation. Turning your impulses into intention, your desire into discipline, and your distractions into direction. Let's talk about what actually happens when you quit. Because this is where things get exciting. Picture this. You wake up in the morning, and instead of guilt, instead of brain fog, instead of that heavy drained feeling, you feel clear. Your mind is sharp. Your body feels strong. You're locked in. That's what happens when you stop giving your power away. Your confidence starts rising, fast. Your testosterone levels get a natural boost. You feel focused, dialed in, and hungry for progress. The little things don't bother you as much anymore. You stop seeking approval. You start moving through life with purpose. You're no longer chasing hits of pleasure. You're chasing greatness. And every single day becomes a chance to build, to grow, and to dominate your lane. That's what the Stoics meant when they talked about freedom. Not just the freedom to do whatever you want, but the deeper, internal freedom, to say no when it counts, to hold your ground, to live by your values, even when it's hard. Now here's the real question you need to ask yourself. Are you going to keep staying stuck in that cycle? That loop where every time you feel bored or lonely or anxious, you reach for that quick fix? Or are you going to take control? Because here's the truth. This habit, it's not just stealing your time. It's stealing your potential. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it becomes to see what's possible on the other side. But the moment you decide to break the chain, that's when everything changes. Let's bring it home with a challenge. The final Stoic truth is this. No great man in history was ruled by his desires. The ones who changed the world, the ones who became legends, they mastered themselves first. They didn't wait for motivation. They didn't live at the mercy of their urges. They chose discipline, again and again. And so can you. So ask yourself, what kind of man do you want to be? One who gives in to every temptation? Or one who stands firm? One who feels regret after every indulgence? Or one who wakes up energized, focused, and ready to crush the day? Because here's the deal. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to take the habit away from you. You have to decide. You have to take the first step. And if you do, you'll unlock a level of confidence, clarity, and masculine energy that most guys will never taste. So, If you're serious about breaking free, if you're ready to reclaim your power, and start living like a true Stoic, don't just think about it. Act. Start today. And if you need guidance, motivation, or a brotherhood of men on the same path, hit that subscribe button. We're not just making videos here. We're building men, one mindset at a time. Your journey to self-mastery? It starts right now.